Hi, and welcome to my next video. In this particular video, I'm going to show you how to restring a vintage style G.I. Joe. These guys come in several iterations. Obviously, you have the vintage guys. This particular one is a Wally Joe, a Walmart Joe. These were sold at Walmart back in 2006, I think. They're pretty much the same as any of the reproduction vintage style G.I. Joes. The insides are all pretty much the same with several little differences, but the restringing process is pretty much exactly the same. Anyhow, I consider Joe too floppy when he can't even keep his legs up from a horizontal. Makes him tough to pose and stand, and it's just doesn't work for me, so he's going to get a restring. Okay, these are the tools and materials that you need. Some of these I use for every Joe that I do. Some of them you only need one or two. However, you'll see how all these tools are used as I proceed. Number one is a pick. Number two, this is a restringing tool. It's used to reach down through Joe's torso to grab the elastic from his legs and pull him up through to his neck. It's just a bent piece of wire. I think this was from a for sale sign or a rummage sale sign. Couple of pairs of wire cutters in different sizes. These are the ones I use the most for this, but these come in handy from time to time. Over here we have needle nose pliers and vice grips, small channel locks. The needle nose vice grips are essential, and these two smaller types of needle nose pliers are also very handy in the process. The material we're used to restring him with is one of these. These are mini bungee cords from Walmart. You can get a box at $25. I think I paid $7. They're just about the right length for the method I use. And these hooks on the end, hang on to those. You can use these to make more hooks for the elastic inside Joe's body. There's 3 hooks, one on the neck and one on each shoulder. Sometimes they break. This is wire works good for making new ones when that happens. Okay, what I do is you'll see the metal clamps that hold the elastic like this to keep it inside of the screw or inside of the hook. What I do is I cut those off, and then I take the hooks and save them, and you wind up with a piece of elastic like this. So, to begin, take Joe, grab him by the shoulders like this, pull on his head, and you'll see the hook. Down there where the hook loops around the elastic is where you want to grab it with the needle nose vice grips. I usually go like this. Take the grips and reach down in there and clip them on. And you tweak them up a little bit, kind of hold him back a bit to keep his head nice and far out of there. Roll his head forward and push down, and it should come off. Sometimes this hook is facing backwards and he's hooked on the other way. In that case, obviously, you just flip it backwards and do the same thing. All right, get the parts off to the side. When you're done with that, go like this, stick the grips into the head, into the neck hole, and just pop them loose. And the hook will fly back through the body, and we have them apart. On the inside of the torso, you'll see the arm elastic. Can we see that? Yeah, we can. The neck and leg elastic should go in front, towards the front of the body. And you should make the hook facing forward, like I showed when I took the head off. If you don't do that, then this hook here for the neck gets all tangled up in the arm elastic when you try and take them apart or put them together. This guy's arm elastic is pretty good, so we're not going to mess with that today. But the procedure is about the same. You're only talking about a smaller piece of elastic. Okay. With that on the side. Now for the tricky part. I have already taken this guy's leg clips apart, but I'm going to show you. If you look inside of there, let's get some light in there, you'll see, hang on, let me get a flashlight in there. If you look in there, you'll see that hook. It's an eyelet that bends around that rivet. You can see that I've cut and clipped it. One of the main differences between a Vintage Joe and these repros is that this pin in here is made out of aluminum. You can see that it's scratched up a bit. That is both from my grabbing this and cutting it and moving it against there, and also from when you're just simply posing the Joe or something. These slide back and forth on that pin. You can also see that they're made out of a very thin metal, and the whole load of the stretching of the elastic to hold them together is placed on one little area on that pin for the most part. The way I'm going to redo this will spread out that load to help keep that pin in decent shape. Be very careful when you clip these eyelets. I'll show you how to do it, but it's real easy to break the aluminum pin. Be careful with the repro guys on this. What I do is I reach in there with this pair of wire cutters and I grab hold of it, grab hold of that eyelet right there, right where you see that it's been cut. Pull it out of the air again, I'll show you. Right there. And I squeeze it real good until there's a good notch cut into the metal. And taking the needle nose pliers, usually these ones work the best. You grab hold of it, damn it. You grab hold of it right here. And then very gently twist and tweak it, bending this little niche that you made with the wire cutters back and forth until it finally snaps. Again, be careful on these aluminum pins. On a Vintage Joe with the steel pins, it ain't a worry. Obviously, once you got that broken, you just tweak it open and you can pull them off and he comes completely apart. I hope that was clear enough. All right, pull the hip balls through. And take the neck hook off of the old elastic. Throw that on the side, put your pieces on the side, and it's time to take a quick break.